here with Kevin Schreck at the 2013 Minneapolis St. Paul International Film Festival. Kevin's here to present his film Persistence of Vision tonight. So Kevin, could you tell us about your film?
Well, Persistence of Vision is a feature-length documentary about the acclaimed animator Richard Williams. He's best known for films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and the sequels to The Pink Panther, but he spent nearly 3 decades of his life toiling away at this supposed masterpiece called The Thief and the Cobbler. And although he spent this tremendous amount of time on this film, it was never finished as he envisioned it, as it was supposed to be. And so as a result, it's sort of this lost chapter in cinema history, and my project is the first single project that attempts to tell that story. When I first got into college, a friend of mine just sent me a link online about this supposed lost masterpiece of animation, and that obviously got my attention, and I just had to know more and more about it, and I kind of developed an obsession of my own about this story of obsession. You know, some people have heard of this story before, but it's a very small group of people who know something about animation or film history. The majority of the public really hasn't heard of it, and you know, I love hearing from people who know about it because they have all these sort of little bits of trivia and history that they are aware of. But I also really love hearing from people who not only didn't know anything about that, but maybe didn't really have a prior interest, maybe even in animation or filmmaking, but were compelled by the storyline. So that's really reassuring, and that's a real exciting thing to know, that it affects not just people who are interested in animation and movie making, but that there's also at its core a real human story to it, a real important element that anyone can really relate to.
Were there some really surprising things you found out when you were making this film?
Well, I think because a lot of the information we had was based on anecdotes and memories from all these different artists and animators who worked on the film from like the 60s until the 90s. And so I think it was really fascinating to, you know, hear these people, their first-person accounts, because we've all seen stuff that they've done, all these drawings that they've brought to life, but to actually get to know them was a real privilege. And to know more about the man himself, Richard Williams, who is not just a really compelling and important artist in his medium, but is just a fascinating human being, was a real privilege.
Coming here to the film festival is a homecoming for you. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I was born and raised in Minneapolis, and I think a homecoming is a great way of describing it. I love the fact that it can have its Midwest premiere back at my hometown, where I think people really respond to filmmaking, and it's a real privilege to be able to have this happen.